All right, let's dive into a novel that people have been passionately arguing about for, well, pretty much forever. Ayn Rand's The Fountainhead. Whether you love it or you hate it, you can't deny that its foundation is built on a really powerful and, yeah, polarizing idea. So today, we're going to break down exactly what that is, just by looking at how the story kicks off.
Right out of the gate, Ayn Rand tells you exactly what she's up to. This is not just a story about buildings and architects. As she says herself in the introduction, her number one goal, her prime mover, is the character Howard Rourke. He is her picture of the ideal man, and literally everything else in this book exists to showcase him.
And you really have to get that, because the whole book is basically one giant thought experiment. It's all set up to show you the exact conditions that would make her kind of ideal man possible. So think of it less as a story about things happening and more as a story about an idea in motion.
So what kind of idea are we talking about? Well, Rand called her work romanticism. But don't go thinking about cheesy love stories, that's not it at all. For her, romanticism was all about projecting a moral vision. It's not about showing life as it is, but as she thought it could be, and frankly, as it should be. The story is just the delivery system for her philosophy.
Now, how does she bring this philosophy to life? She gives us two main characters. We meet these two aspiring architects at the exact same place at the same time, the Stanton Institute of Technology. But on the very day one graduates with the highest honors you can get, the other one gets expelled. That single moment just perfectly sets up the two totally opposite paths this story is going to follow.
I mean, the contrast here could not be more dramatic. You got Peter Keating on one side. He's the star student, the campus celebrity, the guy who played the game perfectly and got all the rewards. And then there's Howard Rourke, who gets kicked out for the complete opposite reason. He just flat out refuses to play the game, period. He insists on his own vision, no matter what tradition says. Their fates on this one day just set the stage for everything.
In this super tense meeting with the dean, Rourke just lays his entire philosophy on the table with this one incredible line. Think about what he's saying. His motivation isn't to serve clients. It's not about what the market wants. It's not about making people happy. He's driven by the work itself. For him, getting a client is just a way to get to do the thing he loves, which is to build.
Now, compare that to Peter Keating. He's got two unbelievable offers on the table: a scholarship to study in Paris or a job at the absolute best architectural firm in the country. And how does he make this huge life decision? He asks his mom what she thinks people will say. See? His compass doesn't point north from inside him. It's always spinning around, looking for approval from the outside.
So both of them pack their bags and head to New York City to get started. And this is where it gets real. Their philosophy stopped being just words they say to a dean or their mom. Right away, their very first choices in the big city tell you everything you need to know about who these guys are.
Keating, of course, lands at the most famous firm in the city, Franken and Hire. And what's the first thing he does? He starts playing the social game. All his energy goes into charming his boss, Guy Franken, and schmoothing his coworkers. He figures out pretty fast that the firm's famous designs aren't even by Franken, but by some quiet draftsman in the back. Keating's focus is immediately on the power structure, not the actual creative work.
So instead of wowing anyone with his architectural skills, Keating shows off his social genius. He comes up with this catchy little slogan and just hands it to his boss. It's this perfect little piece of social currency that Franken can use to make himself look good. Keating isn't building with steel and glass, he's building his career with flattery.
And Rourke? He does the exact opposite. He doesn't look for the most successful firm, he looks for the guy everyone considers the biggest failure, Henry Cameron. Now, Cameron was this brilliant architect whose career was totally wrecked because he refused to compromise. Rourke isn't looking for status, he's looking for integrity. And Cameron is brutally honest with him. He knows exactly what kind of punishing path Rourke is choosing. By signing on with a genius who wouldn't bend, Rourke is basically signing up for the same fight and probably the same career suicide. But that warning, it's also a promise. It's Cameron saying, I'll teach you how to fight that fight.
And right here, you can see the whole battle in two buildings. On one side, you have Franco's masterpiece, which looks like it was squeezed out of a pastry tube. It's just covered in all this old-fashioned junk to hide its modern structure. Then you have Cameron's building. Its beauty comes from its structure, from its honesty. It's the battle between copying what's been done before and creating something new.
Okay, so now that we've seen these two make their first big moves, we can finally start to put the author's own labels on what's happening. The conflict she's setting up has specific names, and this is where the themes of the book really snap into focus.
It all centers on this idea she calls man worship. Now, this sounds a little strange, but it's not religious. It's about having this deep reverence for human potential, for the individual creator who achieves incredible things using their own mind and their own effort. Howard Rourke is the living, breathing embodiment of this idea.
So, in Rand's universe, humanity is basically split into two teams. You've got the man worshiper, that's the creator, the Rourke type, whose focus is totally internal on their own work and their own standards. And then you have what she calls the man hater, which includes the second-hander, like Peter Keating. Their focus is completely external. They get their whole sense of who they are from what other people think.
So when you boil it all down, this whole foundation that the novel is building, it all comes down to one fundamental quality. It's all about a single question. Where do you get your sense of value from?
And that is the absolute core of it. That's the main takeaway from how this book starts. The Fountainhead is a story about a duel between getting your validation from the inside versus getting it from the outside. It's the person who lives from the inside out against the person who lives from the outside in. Rourke builds to please himself. Keating puts on a show for everyone else.
And so right from page 1, the novel slams us with this massive, driving question. What is the true measure of success? Is it the integrity of the work itself, or is it what the world thinks of that work? It's a question that really challenges you to look at your own motivations, not just at your job,